guys, welcome back. This is episode 19. We're already up to episode 19 of my Out of the Park Baseball 22 playthrough with the Detroit Tigers. We are up to the start of the postseason. We are going to be taking on the Tampa Bay Rays in the American League Division Series. Good news is we will get our starting third baseman, where is he? Yu Yi Lu back in 4 days, which means we will have him back, assuming no setbacks. We will have him back for Game 4, assuming there is a Game 4. Assuming we don't sweep or get swept, we will have him back for Game 4. I set pitching rotations. We're going to go Emerson Hancock as our ace. He's going to start Game 1. Grayson Rodriguez will start Game 2. He's probably not the second best starter on the team. That's probably Casey Mize or Hancock. He's probably the third or fourth best pitcher on the team right now, but the year he had, 11-1 with a 3.90 ERA, I got to give him that start. Casey Mize will be our number 3, and Will Sanders will get the number 4 start, assuming it goes that far. So I guess without any further ado, let's just get into the postseason. So Victor Munoz against Emerson Hancock. This is, I think, the key game. If we can somehow pull this one out and beat their number 1 starter, I do truly feel like we have a pretty good chance to win this one. We were 6-1 against Tampa Bay in the regular season, so hopefully that extends here to the postseason. So let's play or sim Game 1. We take a 1-0 series lead. That's exactly what we needed to have happen. We win Game 1 4-3 with 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th. Our trade line acquisition, Alex Verdugo, comes up in the 9th inning and drives home the game-winning run. Our other offseason acquisition, Corey Collins, with a home run in the 9th to tie the game. So we win it in the 9th. Hancock goes 6. And Devin Williams comes in, another trade deadline acquisition, pitches the final 3 innings, giving up 1 hit, striking out 6 to pick up the victory. So we take a 1-0 series lead. Let's move on. Eventually. So yeah, that game was the key. Let's see what happens here in Game 2 as we get Drew Stratman, who was 9-12 with a 4.22 ERA, against Grayson Rodriguez in his 11-1 mark. Game number 2 goes to the Tigers. We win 5-1, so smart move by me sticking Grayson Rodriguez out there. He goes 7 shutout innings, giving up only 2 hits. Bradley gave up a run in an inning and 2/3. Stephan closed the door. We win 5-1 and take a commanding 2-0 lead in this best-of-3. Spencer Torkelson, 3 runs knocked in that one. So excellent. So move on to Game 3. Casey Mize, his 15 wins on the year, looking to close this one out in 3 games. We'll take on Kodai Senga in his 10-13, 3.73 mark. So can we sweep the Rays? We can. So we win the series 3-0. Our pitching, which was my concern, was absolutely fantastic in this one. 4 runs in 3 games. We win Game 3 2-0. Casey Mize goes 6 shutout innings, striking out 10, picking up the win. Devin Williams pitched 4 2/3 shutout innings in 3 games. Ken Giles gets the save. RBIs from Meyer and Bishop, a couple of our draftees. So we win the American League Division Series, sweeping the Tampa Bay Rays. So that's good. We get Lou back now for round 2. We lose Penango for 5 weeks. Okay, so what's that going to do to... When can we make changes to our roster? Can we do it now? Playoff, eligible for playoff. Can we do it now, or do we have to wait? Do we have anybody? Okay, we can do it now. So we'll call in Ketel Marte just to get that extra bat in the lineup. We'll reset the lineups here in a second once we find out who we're playing. Oh, it's Kansas City. We're going to be taking on the Kansas City Royals in the American League Championship Series. Our division rival, the Kansas City Royals. So big series here. When is this series going to start? Why is this taking so long? There we go. All right. So actually, let's take a look. So Korean baseball posting players, a closer who's terrible. Kansas City went 86-76 on the year. Finished about 10 games behind us. We have to reset our lineup. So who do we want in left field against I think it's going to be Bishop for the bat. And I'm not really concerned about who's coming off the bench because we aren't going to change those lineups at all. And then against lefties, we'll leave Jordan Walker out there. Still hasn't really developed in left field, but the bat's good enough to overcome it right now, I think. All right, let's look at Kansas City really quick, and then we'll get to that series. So in 86-76, they finished 10 games behind us. They beat the 96-win Astros. Good pitching staff. Only 13th in runs scored. Offensively, they were led by the ageless Jose Abreu. 24 home runs, 45 doubles, 101 runs knocked in as a 39-year-old. Other than that, it was pretty bad. Bobby Witt, 25 home runs. Micker Adolfo, 27 home runs. Not a very good offense. Pitching, they're quite good. Jan Camarus, 24-year-old, who those numbers are just lights out. 14-12, struck out 250 batters this year. Wiegman is a 3-star, 4-star potential. Asa Lacy, 3-star, 3.5-star potential. Massey, 3-star, 3.5-star potential. So they've got 4 really good pitchers, and they have the best reliever in the American League in Tony Stewart, who followed up his Rookie of the Year and Reliever of the Year award with an even better season, 121 strikeouts in 61 innings. So hopefully it doesn't get to him very often. And we are moving on. So let's sim game 1 here. Emerson Hancock against Jan Camarus. Kansas City wins 4-0 and takes a 1-0 series lead. 2 RBIs for Adolfo. Proc, their catcher, goes 4 for 4. Camarus was amazing. 10 strikeouts, no runs, and 7 2/3. Hancock wasn't bad. Williams had a rough go of it as he pitched 3 innings, giving up 3 runs. So we are down to the 86-win Kansas City Royals in the ALCS. Game number 2 also goes to Kansas City as we lose 4-3. We were down 2-0. We tied it at 2, down 3-2, tied it at 3, and then they scored a run in the 9th. For us, Collins, Meadows, and Ball had RBIs. Rodriguez went 5 1/3. Ken Giles gave up the run in the 9th. Stewart, this is what I was afraid of. He came in and just dominated. So we're now down 2-0. We lost the first 2 games at home. So we're going to have to make a dent here in Kansas City as Casey Mize tries to get us back into it. And we're down 3-0. So we lose this one 5-4. We were down 4-0, scored 3 in the 7th. They added a run. We scored 1 in the 9th, but couldn't close it down. So Verdugo, 2 hits, 3 RBIs. Edmund, 3 hits, 2 runs scored. Mize, 3 earned runs in 5 2/3 innings. Asa Lacy pitched 6 shutouts. Now we have to win 4 in a row. We have to win 4 in a row against a team that, frankly, has a better pitching staff than us. Can Will Sanders keep our season alive? Nope, we get swept. Wow, and it wasn't pretty. We lose 10-2. We're outscored 23-9 in the 4-game series. So 23-9 in the 4-game series. Their pitching staff was more than we could handle. I don't even want to bother looking at that box score, but I will because I'm a masochist. Peguero had 5 RBIs. Parker Meadows, 2 hits and an RBI in what's probably his last game. Torkelson hit 042 in the postseason. Lou hit 143. Meyer hit 192. Collins hit 056. Bishop hit 167. We didn't get any offense. We didn't get any offense, and our pitching staff wasn't as, they were, to quote Dennis Green, they are what we thought they were, which is an average to slightly above average pitching. Oh, and Archie Bradley's going to be out for probably forever, so we'll see what happens there. So, yeah, I guess let's go ahead and sim to the playoffs end. It's going to be Kansas City and the Dodgers? Yeah, probably. Archie Bradley's out for 4 months. That's fine. Well, that's disappointing. I mean, honestly, I didn't think we'd make it the wild card. I thought Tampa would beat us. So we made it to the ALCS. It's an improvement. But next year, things are going to look different due to our money or lack thereof. So we'll have some interesting decisions to make here in this upcoming offseason. Kansas City with a 2-1 series lead. Can its 86-win Kansas City Royals win the World Series? They're 9-1 in the 10-1 in the postseason so far. Beat the Angels, swept the Astros, swept us, and they've lost one game here in the World Series so far. 2-2. Dodgers are up 3-2. And the Dodgers. So, unfortunately, after all that, it's the Dodgers. It's always the freaking Dodgers. All right. Well, that stinks. So we'll get to the offseason here as soon as it loads. We end up with an 852 score. Who retired? Our trainer retired. Our new budget is $110 million. Lou voided his contract, but he's going to be arbitration eligible. Ooh, look at these ARB numbers, guys. Okay. So what do we have to make decisions on? Tommy Edmund, $6 million, $900,000 buyout. Ken Giles, he hasn't dropped at all. We will execute his option at $4 million. What do we do with Tommy Edmund? Because we don't really have a second. I think 1.5 WAR, 14 home runs, 73 knocked in. He was below average at well below average at second base, but I think we have to. Yeah, because we don't have a second base prospect ready to come up. So we signed Ken Giles, so we should be happy with that. He only wants us to achieve a winning record, so he's not unhappy with what we want, or I guess he's not expecting us to be all that good. Top prospect list, Elijah Green is 8th. He will be up next year. Do we have anybody else on that list right now? We're 2nd. Zarate's 20th. Castro, Collier, and the other Castro. Okay. We have to do arbitration, and we have to sign a team trainer. So let's go and take a look at that right now. We've actually had pretty good, I would say, pretty good luck with injuries. Not necessarily at third base. That's been a bit of a bummer, but right here, Josh Bear. Yep, Josh Bear. I mean, he's 58, he's been around for 28 years, so he's 59 years old. I don't know how long he's gonna be around for, but he's average to above average at everything. I'd rather have that than someone who's legendary here but poor here. So let's look at arbitration. So Grayson Rodriguez wants 168. We will offer him 1.6. And as I talk about every year, I always offer an arbitration. I try to avoid arbitration so that I can get the fan interest bumps from signing these players. At least some of them. I mean, some of them, aren't going to matter, but some of them will get fan interest bumps when they sign contracts. And we are in desperate need of that, as we're going to take some pretty substantial hits when we lose some of these players. So Zach Hess wants 1.1. Give him 1.050. And it saves us a little bit of money here and there, so that's important too. Stefan only wants 1.4. 1.325. I'm going to do all the cheap ones first, so that's why I'm avoiding these. So Brigman, he wants 1. Yeah, I'll give him. He's been good enough that I think we can keep him in that backup role. All right, so now it starts to get interesting. So we go to Marcelo Meyer first. He wants 5.2. 5.050. Okay, so that saves us about 200 grand. 230 grand. Lou, we absolutely need to bring. Okay. Give him 5 years and like lop a couple million off of each of these. Would he do something like that? He will. Okay. So that actually works because his ARB number was like 22. So that gives us an extra like 5 million to play with. That's a lot of money, but I think he's going to be worth it. 5 years, $116 million. I'm saving Meadows for last because I really don't know what to do with him. So let's take a look now at Torkelson. He wants 17.5. So what if we gave him 4 years at 16? It's too many zeros. 18. And I doubt he's going to take this. 22. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's still too many zeros. It's $180 million and $160 million. And then 25. Would he take that? No. So because he won't take that, the problem is that if I don't sign him long-term now, I won't be able to sign him long-term during the season because I don't know that we're going to have enough money in enough extension money to do so. So I would really like to be able to bring him back. I mean, it might just be that he doesn't want to sign that long. And if that's the case, there's not a whole lot I can do. Yeah, he doesn't want to sign that long. All right. So his ARB number is 17,250. So can we get him for 16,250? 16,500. All right. So it means that this is probably Torkelson's last year with us, which kind of sucks, but he doesn't want to sign long term, which means he wants to test free agency. And if he wants to test free agency, I don't know that we're going to have the money to bring him back. So Parker Meadows. He wants $11 million. I don't want to give Parker Meadows $11 million. So let's see what we can get for a Parker Meadows. I mean, we're going to end up with somebody who's not as good as Parker Meadows, I think is the end result here. But that might be okay if we can improve them at a different position. I wouldn't mind a Jeter Downs. He's not terrible. 1.5 WAR. He's got some gap power, some home run power. He's okay defensively. But he's not really any better than Edmund. Nolan Jones. He's a captain. I mean, he's ARB eligible too, so we're not really getting anything done with that. Same with Velade. Yeah, but I only had him playing in left field. I mean, at second base, he's not very good at second base either, but good base stealer, good with the bat. Can we do something like this? This is a no-go. All right, so you'd want one of my better players. Okay, so Edmund's an option, or Bracho's an option for Parker Meadows. Jacob Amaya. He's good defensively. Not all that good with the bat. Maybe that's what I need, is a second baseman, a really good glove. You know, even if he can't hit, if he's a really good glove, then that might work. Joshua Morrissey. I mean, here's your definition of all glove, no hit second baseman right there. Alek Manoah, he's a reliever. I mean, I would be okay making this move. He just needs a bit more. I mean, I would be fine sticking Morrissey at second base and batting him in the 9-hole for the next 3 years. I mean, if he hits, 230, we'll be fine. Draw an average number of walks. Yeah, best defensive field. Yeah. All right. So what can I do to move the needle here that I'm willing to give up with Caranto? I mean, but if I'm gonna do this, then I may as well just call Caranto up because he's just as good, which may be what we end up doing. Now that I think about it, he's better with the eye. The bat's not quite as good. Well, let's see. Let's see. All right, let's just submit that and see what they give us. I want to go back here though, and I want to. What I may do is sign the number and then try to move him after free agency starts when some people have some money free up. Or maybe we go after somebody like Gilberto Jimenez. He's a very good defensive center fielder. See, I don't understand why Lavin doesn't like this. I mean, he's obviously a better defensively, but from a WAR perspective, Jimenez was the better player last year. He's got more speed. He's got great range, so he can play center field, and the bat is good enough. The bat is good enough. Can we have Duran too? We can have Duran if we want to give them somebody else. Is there anybody here that I want to know? That's one of our top prospects. Howard, no. I mean, he was a 4.5 win player last year. Okay. So we could give up a 22-year-old, 1.5-star, 2.5-star pitcher, Kenny Salgado and Parker Meadows to the Red Sox and pick up Gilberto Jimenez and Jarren Duran, which would it would put us in a decent position in the outfield. It would mean we wouldn't have to, I mean, because we're going to lose Meadows. We're likely to lose Verdugo as well, so we're going to need multiple outfielders here. We're going to call Elijah Green up, but this gives us 2 outfielders for the price of 1. 2 outfielders that, frankly, can play. I mean, we stick Duran in left, we stick Jimenez in center, and we've got the makings of a very good defensive outfield with Green in right. And we have Bishop as our backup, Walker as our 5th outfielder / third baseman. But if they're happy with it, does that mean we can get more? Can we also get Jeter Downs? Not without giving up something I don't really want to give up. Do you have any prospects that you're willing to part with, Boston? Got a lot of bullpen prospects. You willing to give up any of them? You willing to give up a Josh Hines? Not happening. What about a Bob Mueller? Oh, just drafted him. Okay. We could try to get back some of the players we traded for Alex Verdugo. Oh, okay. I didn't think you'd give him up, but I figured I'd ask. What about John Murphy? put on your big. I think I'm going to pull the trigger here. Meadows and Salgado for Jimenez and Duran. I don't know how much we're going to end up saving because both of these players are ARB eligible. I wish I could see. Is there some way to see that number? Because my guess is Duran's going to be eligible for a ton of money. But between the two of them, is there some way to look? Can we do this? No, it only shows us our team. What if we do this? Okay. So Jimenez wants 5'8" and Duran wants 5'5". Okay, so we are essentially... Duran's 30, though. I don't need a 30-year-old. I just realized that. That was stupid. All right, so we don't need him. We don't need that. Can we get... Let's see here. What can we do? What else can we do? Is there anything else we can do? Okay, I honestly would be fine with this. Like, you want Tim Diaz, fine. So we'll get Gilberto Jimenez and Jeter Downs for Parker Meadows and Tim Diaz. Popularity, he's well known. Jeter Downs, he's insignificant, and Parker Meadows is very popular. Okay, so we are going to take a hit here, but we aren't going to be able to re-sign Meadows, so it is what it is. All right. Fan increase decreases a lot, and we get a slight bump from picking up Jimenez. Puts us at a 62. So now we have to go in and we have to, yeah, see, this is the only issue. So Downs wants 4-4. So 4-2-0-0-0-0-0. And Jimenez wants 5-7, so we'll offer him 5-5. Sign that. Okay, we don't have anybody that we can offer qualifying offer to. We're going to lose Devin Williams. We're going to lose Alex Verdugo. It is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it at this point. We have no money for contracts this season. So when we get to free agency, we may have to pause and reconsider Tommy Edmund. And in fact, let's reconsider Tommy Edmund now. Let's sim ahead a day first. Yeah, I knew we were going to look different next season. There's no way around it. Thankfully, our pitchers are locked up long term, and our offense is pretty solid. Stefan. All right, well, let's discuss it again. All right. There's really nobody on the big league roster that I want to give away. All right, let's go to prospects. We have some good starting depth. We have some good starting pitching. A lot of good pitching depth. A lot of good pitching depth. I think Caranto gets called up. I'm going to start calling some of these players up so I can have a better idea of where we actually need to improve. Call him up. Collier's not ready. He's not ready. Okay. So what if you took he was drafted last year. You want a Juan Pacheco? Okay, I'll submit the offer. All right. So let's get up to, actually, let's start now with Edmund, because at this point, I think I want him. I don't necessarily think that. Oh, I got to sim ahead today. I don't necessarily think that. Oh, he's included in a pending trade, right? He's in that trade with San Francisco. Almost. Okay, so we can now make this happen. You want Xavier Perez? You can have Xavier Perez. If I can find him. Xavier Perez. Cool. Assuming they take that, we get that money off the books. And then we'll get up to... All right, so contracts got signed. Brigman, Steffen, fans liked that. They liked Spencer Torkelson signing. They liked Jimenez signing. They liked Meyer signing. And obviously they liked Lou signing. And we picked up our trainer. Okay, let's keep moving. Zach Hess, great. Oh, do I need to... Yeah, I don't need to sign my minor leaguers. I already signed them. Yeah, Verdugo just wants too much money. I would love to bring him back, but I can't afford it. Just can't afford it. Oops, not where I wanted to go. Yeah, I mean, we're not that far off. I mean, I could potentially knock this down and get this under and would be able to sign him. So we'll see what happens when we hit free agency. Maybe we can bring back Verdugo. I don't know. I don't know. Let's go to the Gold Glove. Oh, okay, so we got Morrissey. All right, so that trade did happen. Happened a couple days ago, I guess. So let's call all three of these players up. And that means we are going to have, we can move on from Brigman at this point. We can, because we're going to have, I didn't put him on the roster. So we're going to have Meyer, Caranto, Morrissey, and Downs as middle infielders. So we're definitely going to have to move on from some people, even if it's just DFAing. Nick Quintana moving on from Bryson Brigman. I think as it stands right now, our outfield is Jimenez, Green, and to be determined. Maybe Torkelson out and left this year. Yeah, not really sure yet. So let's get up through the end of the... Actually, let's just go one at a time since it's going to stop me every time anyway. All right, so great. So the Gold Gloves, AL, Tampa won 5 Gold Gloves. Margot, Fuller, Padlo, Murphy, and Strotman. We didn't win any. NL, Woodruff, Real Muto, Bohm, Guillorme, Arenado, Lawler, Gomez, Pete Crow Armstrong, and Helio Ramos. Let's keep going. Excuse me. So we continue to sim. Yeah, we might be able to bring Verdugo back. I wouldn't mind having an outfield of Green, Verdugo, and Jimenez. That would be very, very good defensively. It would allow us to move on from Penango, I guess. Not that, we need him around. Roki Sasaki. He's an extreme fly ball pitcher, though. Yeah, I don't want to give $14.5 million to sign him. So Torkelson wins a Silver Slugger. He's the only one. Torrens, Nico Horner, Gleyber Torres, Royce Lewis, Caleb Raines, Jared Kalinich, Omar Gonzalez, and Andrew Vaughn. In the National League, it's Jackson Jobe, Drew Romo, Freddie Freeman, Zach McKinstry, Jose Ramirez, Tatis, Dylan Carlson, Cody Bellinger, and Juan Soto. AL Rookie of the Year, Sean Fuller. I kept trying to get him from Tampa this past offseason, but they weren't interested in giving him up. We didn't have anybody there. In the National League, Willis Gomez of the Arizona Cardinals wins the National League Rookie of the Season. So his rookie season ends with a Gold Glove and a Rookie of the Year award. That's okay. Hopefully Elijah Green can finish that, can match those things next season, as he's going to be thrust into action as we look to save a little bit of money. We won the MVP. AL Manager of the Year is Shina Okamoto of the Houston Astros. In the National League, Dave Roberts. AL Cy Young went to Reed Detmers. Emerson Hancock finished second in the American League Cy Young Award. So I'm talking about how I don't have an ace. Apparently I do. Emerson Hancock finished second in the AL Cy Young Award winner. Coy Cobb wins it in the National League. Spencer Torkelson and Yu-Yi Liu finished 1-2 in the MVP race. With Liu only playing 89 games, he finished second in that race. Juan Soto wins the National League MVP with Zach McKinstry coming in second place. All right, let's keep moving. So yeah, I think picking up the option on Tommy Edmund worked because it allowed us to pick up Josiah Morrissey as a backup middle infielder. And I mean, you're not going to, and really somebody who can start if Jeter Downs doesn't hit. So, and we have Kai Caranto, who's exactly the same. So we have two players who are just really elite defensively now, which is nice. Dong Moo Lee, ground ball pitcher, wants $11 million. Not giving him $11 million. Angel Rodriguez wants $6 million. He's also a ground ball pitcher. He may not be a bad pick if he's still there as we move forward into free agency, because I don't think bullpen help is our first need. Cabrian Hayes is out there. All right, so Luis Robert or Robert, I don't know if it's Robert or Robert, Eloy Jimenez, Dominic Smith, a lot of old free agents, a couple of decent ones in here though. I mean, Verdugo's still there. We'll have to see what he's looking for. So pitching. I mean, we have young pitching prospects, so I don't know that I want to spend a lot, and we have a lot of money tied up in our pitching as it stands. So I think the smart move here is to just wait for Hayden Jones, who's probably a year away, probably be up next year. Balog, let's call all these guys up, move them all up. Justin Bailey still a few years away, and then Zarate is a few years away. So we've got 4 really, really good starting pitching prospects. So I don't think that I want to make a move for a starter. We've got 5 here, plus Adam Hill is 6 if we need another starter. Yeah, I mean, we could start Stefan if we needed to. So we're okay with pitching. If we can get a cheap reliever to fall in our lap, I might do that, but I'm not going to actively seek out any pitching. We got $12 million to spend this year, 16 to spend next year. Fan interest is up to a 74. So can we bump ticket prices now and try to generate some people? We were 9th in attendance last year. All right, let's go to the off-season center. And let's see. So we want to go to batters. And obviously we don't want to give up. I mean, it's only a 3rd-round pick, so it's not a huge deal, but I'd rather not give up a compensatory pick. Outfield help. I want to keep an eye on Verdugo because we can't. Like, his first year, we would have to pay him $13 million or $12.5 million because of this right here. But first things first, let's look at, are there any contracts that we want to move on from? So no. Maybe, although we just picked him up, so it might be in our best interest to see how he hits. But I think, Let's just try to move some of the chaff, I guess, is probably the best way to put it. He's not making a lot of money. Yeah, see, none of these guys are making any money. So we're really, you know, we're nickel and diming things here. But that's, I mean, I'm fine with that. I am fine. You know, the fact that Bryce Ball's still getting paid the minimum and he was a 3,100 guy last year is exactly what we need. So, Morrissey, let's do this. Anybody interested in giving us anything for those two? No. So I think both of these guys get sent down to the minors, and we next year we non-tender Brigman. Excuse me. I don't want to move Downs right off the bat, but I feel like I would be fine with a combination of Morrissey and Kai Caranto at second base. So let's just see. Because if we can free up the money here and use that money to sign Verdugo, I think that's the right move. We could bring back Ryan Rollison. Fuentes is an extreme. He's out for 6 months. Okay. Well, let's do this. Anybody on the trade block that's not making a lot of money? Scott Hurst, no. I'm not going to bring Steven Wilson back. Thank you very much. All right, so. Okay, but I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pause. I'm going to come back at the Rule 5. I'm going to spend some time screwing around with this and seeing if I can figure out a way to get Verdugo back. That's a lot of money, and he's starting to slip against... Well, he's starting to slip against lefties, and his defense isn't as good as it was previously, so maybe not. You can see his overall started to drop. His contact started... I mean, his batting stats have sort of remained level here for, well, no, that only goes back a year. Since if you go back to the beginning of 26, or the end of 25, so a year ago, no, he's right where he was a year ago. Okay. His potential is actually higher than it was at any point going back. Okay, so maybe he's fine. Because right now our outfield is Green, Jimenez, and either Walker or Bishop. And I don't know that that's going to get it done. We could move Torkelson there. Maybe that's an idea. Maybe we move Torkelson to left. Let's see what's available for... Okay, I'm going to mess around with this. I have a couple of ideas, but I want to kind of flush it out here without boring you guys to death. So I'll be back at the Rule 5, and at that point, something will have happened. So be right back. All right, we're back. It's Rule 5 time. No, nothing has changed in terms of signings or anything. I have, very interestingly, been able to offer Alex Verdugo a contract that I find to be incredibly reasonable. We went in and where is it? I don't think we can show the breakdown, but 4 years, $68 million. It falls within the kind of the scope of what it was we were looking for. It only pays him, I think, $12 million in the first season, and it never pays him more than, I think, 19. The last 2 years are team options. But if we can get him for that and stick him in right field, I consider that a win. Grayson Rodriguez, we offered him a 4-year contract. It was, I think it was 5, 6, 7, and 7. So that takes him till he's 31. He was very, very good last season for us, so hopefully he can keep that going. And without giving anything away, I have a huge deal that is pending currently. An absolutely enormous deal that's pending, and we'll get to it when and if it happens. Good news is that this year we upped our ticket prices from $20.61 to $21.50, and we are expecting a huge jump in revenue, so we now all of a sudden have a ton of money for extensions, which is good. But first things first, we have to do the Rule 5. So let's Is there anybody that we want to make sure is on? Oh, we got to call up Assad. Gonna make sure there's nobody that we want to put on the 40-man. Salgado will go on the 40-man. I think that might be it. Yep. All right, so let's go to the Rule 5. We are picking 28th. Let's go to our pick. And is there anybody that we can bring back Roberto Campos? Is there anybody here that really generates any interest for me? Bring back Dominic Fletcher. Michael Harris out in right field. He's not bad. Well, there aren't really any bats that are all that intriguing this year. Tony Medina's not bad. It's pretty good batting ratings and very good center fielder. I don't think so. What about there usually aren't a lot of pitchers either, but we will look. So we got Brennan Malone, who looks to be okay. Dylan Lesko is always a high. He was only a 4th-round pick in this one, but I've seen him go in the 1st round in other drafts. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like I am going to be making a move for anybody on the Rule 5. We will skip it this year. And we'll see what happens with this this trade offer. It's the type of trade offer that could either push us over the top or set us back multiple years. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but let's see. Let's see if we get some sort of response here over the next couple of days. No response yet. It's a little odd. So we'll get up to December 1st or January 1st. If there's no offer, I will continue to do stuff offline. Okay, so we signed Alex Verdugo. 4 years. You can see his contracts here. 12, 17, and then 19.2 in the following 2 seasons. So I'm happy with this. You know, short of Elijah Green, we didn't have a lot of young outfield depth. Most of our prospects are middle infield and pitchers. So Grayson Rodriguez, I'm actually okay with him declining that contract offer. I want to see him duplicate this, and if he duplicates this, we can then go back and potentially offer him some more money down the road. So most of our extension money is now gone because of that deal. But let's see. So next year we have Torkelson, who's up, Downs, Jeter Downs, Ken Giles, Grayson Rodriguez, Trevor Stephan. Okay, Will Sanders going to want a small bump as expected. Corey Collins, Bryce Ball. Marcelo Meyer is going to get a bump. Jimenez is going to get a bump. Okay, that's fine. Oh, man, what do I do with Torkelson? Because here's the deal. Last year, if Torkelson puts up these numbers for the next 3 or 4 years, then he's one of the best players in baseball. But if he puts up these numbers that he put up in 2024 and 2025, he's replaceable. And especially for what he's going to be. Because I was asking him, like while I was waiting for Verdugo to sign his contract, I was going to him and asking him what he wants. And I couldn't get him off of this 9 years at $28 million. So I'm going to show you guys the deal, and then I'm going to figure out if it's something I want to make. So it was involving Spencer Torkelson, and it included the Colorado Rockies, and it was Mike Nicorak, who is a 4-star, 30-year-old pitcher. Good stuff, good movement, good control, 3 great pitches. Had an off year last year, but still put up 3.6 WAR. Was a 4-win pitcher last year for Colorado. Was a 3 WAR pitcher the year before that. He's locked up for this year and next season. We would save $7.5 million if I can get them to eat Jeter Downs as well. I can get them to eat Jeter Downs as well, so that improves our contract. That improves us to $11.7 million. And then it gave me the idea of, I noticed there was a new free agent who showed up on here. Muntaka Murakami, a 26-year-old left-handed hitting first baseman out of Japan who isn't as good as Torkelson, but he's much better defensively, and I could get him probably relatively short term for significantly less than what I was paying Torkelson. I could also make a run for Dominic Smith, who, frankly, before 2026 was better than Torkelson from a WAR perspective. So I think I'm going to pull the trigger here. I'm going to see if I can get them to add, you know, like a bullpen piece or a prospect or something like that. But Tommy Doyle is really good. Wow. Did you give me Tommy Doyle? Okay, so they would give me Tommy Doyle, which improves the bullpen. So we're sort of changing the way things work here, right? We're going away from the big bopper, as it were, as we've led the league in offense the last 2 seasons, and trying to go a more pitching and defense type offense with some power. We still have some power in the lineup. I'm going to pull the trigger here. Guys, let me know what you think. Yeah, obviously the fans hate that. What does it do to our... All right, we went from 72 to a 67, so that's not the worst thing in the world. I can deal with that. So we get Nicorak in there. He becomes our ace. What am I doing? Where is he? Oh, he's right there. Okay. So he becomes our ace. It slides everybody down a spot. So we're going to go Nicorak, Hancock, Mize, Rodriguez, or Sanders, then Rodriguez, I think, in our rotation. We have a ton of bullpen arms that we can do something with. And then from a lineup perspective, we have Verdugo now in right. We have Elijah Green in center. And Jimenez can go in left. He can learn left field pretty quickly. I just think, the range, the error in the arm is better for Green, so he belongs in center field. You get Bishop out of there. Our second baseman will be a combination of Kai Caranto and this obviously isn't the lineup, but Caranto and Morrissey will back up in the infield. So now we have, on the infield, we don't have a first baseman yet. I mean, we could put Ball at first and then just pick up the best possible bat, but he's pretty bad at first base. So in our infield currently shapes up with Morrissey at second, so he's a Gold Glove caliber second baseman. We have Marcelo Meyer, who last season was below average at shortstop, but has good shortstop ratings. I mean, those are really, really solid ratings. Our third baseman is Lou, who's got a great arm, good range, good error. He's been slightly above average at third base. And then our outfield is Jimenez in left, who will pick that up probably with no trouble at all. Elijah Green in center, and Alex Verdugo in left, or in right. We've got very good catching defense as well. So defensively, we are going to be significantly improved. We have $9.9 million for free agents. We have nothing for extensions, and that's because of what Nicorak is due to earn next season, 10.5. And I don't know that we keep Jimenez beyond this season. I mean, we'll see what happens, but and we get Tommy Doyle for just the 1 year. So let's go back to here, and do we make a run at Murakami, who is better defensively, has more power, and is better on the base paths than Dominic Smith, or do we go Dominic Smith, who's simply a better hitter? Could also go after Kevin Biggio, stick him at first base. And I'd have to think he'd pick up first base pretty quickly. Again, good defense, great base running, great eye. Put up 4.4 WAR a year ago. What do his career stats look like? Yeah, his WAR's been really up and down. All right, well, I'm going to pause, and I'm going to sim ahead up to, I don't know. I guess I'll sim up to right before the beginning of the year. And any deals that were made between then and now, we'll show you at that point. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, we are back. It is a couple days before opening day. There was quite a bit of good in that time that was, I guess, non-existent for you guys, with one really, really bad. So we'll start with the really, really bad, and it looks as though I deleted all my emails like an idiot. But the service time for players to reach free agency, there was a rule change that dropped that by a year. So it is now only 5 years before people are eligible for free agency. And what that means is some of our players that were eligible for arbitration next season are now free agents for next season. And I'll show you that list here in a minute. But before we do that, let's quickly look at the moves that we made since we spoke last. So let's go back to, I guess we go back to December. So this was, I guess, the last deal we made in December. We signed Alex Verdugo to a 4-year, $68 million deal. We traded Spencer Torkelson and Jeter Downs to the Colorado Rockies, getting Mike Nicorak and Tommy Doyle. Unfortunately, Nicorak is one of those players who's affected by this most recent change. Initially, he was ARB eligible through next season. He is no longer ARB eligible through next season. His contract is up at the end of this year. So had that rule change been made before we made the deal, we may not have made the deal. But as it stands now, we likely weren't going to be able to re-sign Torkelson anyway. So now we just have a pitcher that we can't re-sign. So we're not really any further off, but we have a better pitching staff, I think. In addition to that, in January, nothing happened in January. In February, we locked down a couple of, we made a deal first. So we traded Raymels Rosa, Bryson Brigman, Wyatt Crowell, and Chris Reese to the Diamondbacks, getting Brady House. It was primarily a contract dump, as Rosa was making $2.3 million and Brigman was making $1.1 million. So between the players that we traded, we cleared about $3.5 million off of the books. We traded Crowell, who is a half-star pitcher, and Chris Reese, who is a half-star, 2-star, 20-year-old who's got really good control and not much else. And in return, we get Brady House, who's still only 23 years old. He was the number 5 pick in the 2021 draft by the Arizona Diamondbacks, and there's still some potential there. He's a very, very good defensive third baseman, still has a ton of power, and he still has some potential as a pitcher. 3 very good pitches, good stuff, decent movement, decent control. So we're going to play him as a two-way player and just sort of see how he develops. And if we get something out of him, we get something out of him. And then we signed a couple of free agents. We brought back Jeff McNeil on a 1-year deal, $4 million. He's still really elite against righties with the bat. Can't really, I mean, he's still very good against lefties as well. So we bring back Jeff McNeil to help out all around the diamond as well as DH. And then we signed Keston Hiura to a 2-year, $6 million contract. The second year is a team option. So Hiura and McNeil will probably split time along with Bryce Ball between DH and first base. McNeil can hit righties really, really well, and Hiura can hit lefties really, really well. So we made those 2 deals there. And I think that was it. Yeah, so those were the deals we made. And then, unfortunately, from a arbitration estimate, again, we lose Nicorak. He is done after this season unless we can re-sign him. Marcelo Meyer only has 1 more year of arbitration. He initially had 2, so that's a problem. Yeah, and then everybody else loses a year off their ARB as well. So all of our players are going to be free agents a year earlier than we had anticipated. So that's going to cause some issues. We can't sign anybody to a contract right now because we have no money. But that's something we can cross that bridge, next season, or depending on how this season goes. I mean, if this season is a complete cluster, Verdugo can be moved, Hiura can be moved. We can clear up some money if we have to. So we are Spring training is over. Let's see if there are any emails that we need to look at. Nope. No emails that we need to look at. We still have some money available for this season if we need to add down the road. So we're good there. Green got his contact over 40, which is what we wanted. So he'll probably bat at the bottom of the order, which we'll set here in a minute. But he's ready to go. And we'll look at prospects after I've set the lineups and everything. So we have 33 players. We got to cut down to 26. So I've got 18 pitchers. I have to send 5 pitchers down, which isn't going to be easy, frankly, because we have a lot of good pitchers on our team. So these 2 guys can go down. Rony Garcia is just going to get cut. Oh, I guess we'll do this. He's not refusing an assignment, so we'll just designate him. All right, so that gives us 16. We still have to send 3 pitchers down. We have a pretty loaded pitching staff here, folks. Oh, Salgado, he's not ready yet. Takelet makes the most sense. Yeah, we'll start him in AAA. And if anybody struggles, he'll be the first one up. And then we got to send one more person down. I mean, do we want to send Hassad down? I think we do. And I really think we do. I mean, the stuff's really good. The control's good. But that movement is considerably worse than anybody else on our roster. Okay, so we're going to go with Nicorak, Hancock, Mize, Sanders, and Grayson Rodriguez as our starting rotation. From a bullpen perspective, yeah, I mean, we can leave Eater in a setup role. His numbers improved over the offseason. I liked that. And we'll go with Stefan as the other setup guy. So we have Doyle, Abel, and Beal as middle relief, and then Hess and Hill as long relief / emergency starting pitcher. We may need to make a bullpen move here during the season, but we'll see how these guys do. We have some young talent. I mean, Beal could explode, here in the next couple of months, and he could be elite, but we're not quite there yet. So there is our pitching staff going into this season. So we're at 28 players, so we got to send 2 batters down. I think it's Quintana. It's fine. We can designate. And then Penango. Yep. So that gives us Caranto as our backup infielder. Yeah, Jimenez got time in left. You can see he's fine as a left fielder now. Bishop will be the backup outfielder. Walker's going to be the backup corner infielder. Caranto's the backup middle infielder, and we're good. All right, so let's clear the lineups, and let's set our lineups. So against righties, we're going to have Verdugo batting leadoff. We're going to have Lou batting third. Yeah, our lineup is not nearly as good as it was a year ago, but that's okay. That is okay. I want you batting fourth, and I want Meyer batting third. Custon Hero will bat second. Bryce Ball will bat fifth and play DH. Jimenez will bat sixth and play left. Corey Collins will bat seventh. Yeah. Elijah Green will bat eighth. And Jashia Morrissey will bat ninth. So offensively, we are not nearly as good as we have been. Yeah, we're not nearly as good offensively. I think once we get McNeil back, which should be soon. We may have to send Bishop down at that point. Actually, I don't know who we're gonna send down at that point, because Bishop's the only one who can really back up in center. Although, no, not really. I mean, I have Jimenez in green and Verdugo, all of whom can play center field. So, all right, let's copy this. Let's paste this in here against righties. Get ball out. Move everybody up. And then against lefties, let's paste the lineup. What do I want to? Oh, I want to get Walker in there for Ball. He'll play DH against lefties. I think everything else is going to stay the same, at least until. Actually, no, we're going to play Caranto at second against lefties, at least until McNeil gets back, and then we'll have to consider moving some stuff around. But and then Cartaya is going to start against lefties. So Verdugo, Hira, Meyer, Liu, Walker, Jimenez, Cartaya, Green, and Caranto. Copy that. Paste it here. Move everybody up. So we are a different looking team this year for sure. In theory, we should be much, much better defensively. Our pitching staff should be better. We have 3.5 star plus starting pitchers, as well as a couple who are potentially more than that in Will Sanders. Actually, we've got to move Abel to middle relief. So yeah, I think we're a better pitching team. We're a better defensive team. We're not going to be as good offensively, having lost Torkelson, losing who was our center fielder last year? Why can't I think of his name? At any rate, losing our center fielder from last year isn't going to kill us because he wasn't very good. We get McNeil back tomorrow, so we'll have to make that move, that corresponding move tomorrow. But that's fine. So let's go ahead to opening day. All right, so we got to get McNeil back. So I think that means Bishop is going to go down to AAA for now. Let's get McNeil back up, and let's completely reset our lineups. So against righties, I think I want McNeil in left field. How bad is he in left? And he's bad. He's pretty bad, but we need the extra bat, I think. And then we can put Jimenez in as the backup left fielder or defensive replacement in left field. And we'll get him in here as well. He'll play like every 5th game just because I don't want to piss him off. And then righties, he won't play. We'll stick with him. No, against righties, we're going to go here as well. Yeah, every 5th game, and then he'll come in as a defensive replacement for Jeff McNeil. All right, so I think we're set. Let's get to opening day. Then we'll look at prospects, and we'll look at where they think we're going to land, and we'll call it an episode. We finished 15-13 in spring training. Not terrible. We'll have to keep an eye on Parker Meadows and Spencer Torkelson and see how they do throughout the year. Traded them both to the National. Torkelson could hit 60 home runs in Colorado. Those numbers could be ridiculous for him. And then we'll keep an eye on the Red Sox and Parker Meadows. Okay, so they expect us to play better than 500 ball. Player development. Grayson Rodriguez got better. Will Sanders got a little better. Abel got worse. Beal got better. Caranto got better. Green got better. Verdugo got better. Liu got a little worse. That contact's starting to slip a little bit. I don't know that he's going to be a 300 hitter this year, but even if he puts up his rookie year numbers, I would be more than happy with it. Takelet got better. Salgado got better. Hassad got worse. Penango got better. Okay. Top prospects. Elijah Green is still in the top 10. He's number 7. Our minor league system ranks first still. Zarate is 14th. Collier is 22nd. His contact is up to a 42. He's going to start in AA. He'll probably be in AAA by the end of the year. Castro and Castro. So this was last year's Castro. Roger Castro was last year's international signing. And then Jordan was 2024. Okay. So let's look at our pipeline and make sure we have everybody where we want them. So Green is already up. Zarate we currently have in A-ball. I think that makes the most sense with that 16 control. We'll see how he does in A-ball. Move him up if we need to. Collier is fine where he is. Jordan Castro is fine where he is. We do have, okay, it is disabled. I was looking at the, whether or not the AI could move him up or down. Alexis Armelini is called up, or not called up, but he was moved out of the international complex because he had age 20. Balog is 22. He's in high A-ball now. That's probably fine. Those ratings suggest he could be in AA, so we'll keep an eye on that pretty closely. Same thing with Hayden Jones. We might move both of them up relatively quickly. Justin Bailey's going to stay in rookie ball. Jake Desmond is in A-ball. That's fine. He still needs to work on his defense. At least get practice at shortstop. Tacklet will stay in AAA. Coliano is in the international complex. That's fine. Brady House will start in AAA for us. And then, yeah, Caranto's up with the big league team. Beal's up with the big league team. Where do they think we are going to end up? So our owner wants us to finish better than 500. We're predicted to only go 80 and 82. So that's not great. I find it really hard to believe that we would go from 96 wins to 80, losing Torkelson and Parker Meadows while picking up Hura and some of the other players we picked up. So is there a way to look at... We're not in the off-season anymore, so we can't look at who added and subtracted the most amount of WAR. So I think we're going to be okay. I think our pitching staff is pretty good. I think our offense is good enough. I think our top 6 is really, really solid. If Elijah Green can hit, we're going to get defense and speed out of him. The question is going to be, can he hit enough? Defensively, I think we're going to be so much better this year. We've got some money to spend this year if we need to. If we play well, the fans will continue to come out, which will give us money for extensions, which means we'll be able to sign people next year. We'll see how it goes. I'm fairly optimistic, but we'll see. So guys, let me know what you think of the deals. Let me know if you think if I dropped the ball moving on from Torkelson when I did, or if that was the right play. And when we come back, it'll be May 1st. So I'm going to sim ahead, play this first month offline, and I'll see you guys on May 1st. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.